Alright guys, popcorn kernel from last night. I'm going to do a quick video on my onion seeds. Now, I showed them to you in the garden earlier. This is where I've got them now. I had them drying on a table. And I looked, this is dillweed, in case you didn't know that was drying. If you look here, you see those little black things? Those are onion seeds. Let me get a couple more. Very teeny tiny, almost look like poppy seeds. So this was a really good storage onion, and I managed to save a couple, and I let them go to seed. As you can see, I'm just squeezing it. I could bang it inside a paper bag. I like to squeeze them myself, because then I know I'm getting all of them. You're gonna have to go through here and clean it. I don't know if you're getting more. Or if, ooh, there's one, as you can see. It's got the little black seeds in it. So that's what I'm doing. Oh, dogs. That one just flew out. So as you squeeze them, the seeds come out. And they will pop out if you're not careful. Could be using a deeper dish. You can do this while you're just watching TV or listening to the radio. Whatever you're doing. So all these little black seeds I will plant. And it looks like I'll have enough for a good amount of onion starts this year. Now remember, because I grew this the first year, and then I left some in the garden to overwinter, and then they grew up to produce seed the second year. This will be the third generation when I plant these. And I will be saving some seed again next year. So, as long as these have a good germination rate and they grow well, and I'm assuming they will because they came back from another one before. I'm assuming they'll be good. I don't think that was a hybrid onion I have planted, although I did get it from the Amish. They don't tend to use hybrid seeds most of the time. So, and if you get all rushed like I'm doing right now, you're going to have more cleaning to do. But what I don't want is to lose my seeds in the... If you could see how these are starting to open, just a good shake would get them to come out. But I want to separate them more. Because I could have left these dry a little bit longer. As you see, there's black seeds falling out. And when you collect your seeds, you're going to notice that if you collect all of them at the same time, they don't mature at the same rate sometimes, most of the time. So you'll have some that are like late bloomers, and this one might have been more ready. But there's some that are still kind of green. I can feel them when I'm gently squeezing. You're not squeezing hard. So, but like these ones, this one right here, I can feel it's still moist. It's not ready to release its seed. So I'll probably just put these in here, pick them out a little bit, leave the seed balls that are not quite dry in here. But it'll look nicer than these big blobs of who knows what sitting on my counter. Not that I have a lot of people that come over to the house anyway, because, you know, we live far from everybody that we know, pretty much. No, we're making new friends, but I'm so busy. I work, I teach, and then I farm. And last night, I actually took the night off. I didn't do any schoolwork. Well, I had training all day yesterday. And then I didn't do any schoolwork last night. I simply watched some television. So, for like 3 or 4 hours. Which is weird because, you know, when you stay up, when you go to bed normally at like 7 or 8, if you stay up till 9:30, you're like, oh my gosh, is it midnight? It feels so late. You know, but my husband's out with his buddies, so it's a very quiet weekend. And I know when you're first in love, you always want to be together 24/7. But then when you're older, you're like, you know what? Could you go away for a couple of days just because I just want the house to myself? It's kind of like being a teenager. You always wanted to have everybody just leave you in the house alone just so you could have some you time. It's like that again when you get older. And you're married. You just want them to go away for a few minutes so you can have some you time. I just want some me time. That's all I really need. Is me. We are still on baby watch. No baby yet this today. So I'll have to remember to post this before in case she has the babies tonight. She had a little bit of discharge, but nothing that I thought was going to be anything. So she's acting a little off. She didn't eat all of her feed, just kind of standing around. So we'll see. Just I hope it's tonight or today or tomorrow during the day. That would be perfect so that I don't have to worry about it while I'm at work. So, well, there you go. There's your onion seeds. You see what they look like? They almost look like black little poppy seeds. You start them earlier indoors and then you transplant them when they get big. You'll get them like an onion set. But the problem with the onion set is sometimes they grow them in the greenhouse and then they pull them all and they wrap them as sets and then they ship them out. But when they ship them out, they kind of cool them. Well, if you cool them, then the onion thinks that it's already spent all summer. And now it's going to try to just go and set seed, so you're not going to get as big a bulb as you would with the onion seed. Which, I guess, I mean, you can get sets and they work just fine. I've done sets, I've done seed. But this way I can keep my own and I don't have to buy onion seed. And that's where I'm at. I'm trying to get all my seed like I used to have in Washington. When I lived in Washington State, my seeds, I normally saved all my seeds so that they were acclimated to my climate and my little especially out there with the microclimates, because, you can go, quarter of a mile, an eighth of a mile and have a 200, 300 foot difference in height, in pockets, because it's very, hilly and mountainous in the out in Washington State. And those little microclimates make a big difference. I mean, in the valley, it stays cool. The bigger valleys, they were, just, I don't know, maybe a mile down the road from me. You went down a big, huge hill into Bonnie Lake, and Bonnie Lake was almost 2 to 3 weeks ahead of us, spring-wise. And then if you go to the coast there by the Sound, they were another 2 weeks ahead of them with the warm air that comes up. I mean, it gets cold, but it doesn't get cold compared to Michigan. Nothing gets cold compared to the Midwest and the Northeast or Montana. Doesn't matter. If you're north of Ohio, yeah. Maybe even Ohio gets cold. Indiana gets cold. Yeah. But I'm way up north and I'm almost Canada. I'm more Canada than I am anything else. So there you go. Onion seeds. Have a good look. Bye.